homesteaded here way back when.
Right.
So so you've grown up here, and so how, when you think about Marana and you think about all the changes that have been in Marana, what do you think is the best thing about Marana?
I think Marana's still maintaining its small town feel. People will still wave at you when they're walking down the street. People are a lot more friendly. You always see, if someone has a flat tire, you'll see 3 cars pull over on the edge of the road to help them fix it. It's the small town feel, even though we're becoming much more urbanized.
Yes.
And I think we've managed to hold on to that, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. So being the mayor wasn't your first political job, was it?
Well, it was I was on the council originally. In 1976, the city of Tucson was buying cotton farms in the town of Marana to take the water rights off of them and pump it back into the city of Tucson. Wow. And a lot of us, that was one of the primary reasons. And a bunch of us got together and said, we just can't have that, because we'll just turn into a bunch of tumbleweeds and junk and stuff out here if they take all our water. So we put a group together and incorporated in 1977. And another city cannot take water out of another incorporated municipality without their permission. Well, we stopped that then.
That's great.
So that was one of the main reasons that we incorporated. Another reason we incorporated was my father had property, and he and my mother had given some to my brother, my sister, and I, and we wanted to build different things on it, and tried to deal with county government that was 40 miles away at the time. I mean, we're talking years ago.
Yes.
Was really difficult, trying to get permits or trying to get things done. And that was another parallel reason that we wanted to incorporate, so that we would be in charge of our own destiny.
That sounds like it was a good decision for everybody, especially all of us who live here in Marana, because we certainly appreciate your forethought in that, because water is really a precious commodity.
It is.
It's kind of like land. There's just not much of it, so you've got
Water's
to be
more
precious.
valuable than oil here in
sure.
this state. This state is growing rapidly. It's one of the fastest growing states. Marana is one of the fastest growing towns in the southern part of the state. But if you don't have water, you don't grow.
That's true. Well, I know as a mayor that you have really helped in the municipality and getting people interested in Marana, and so I've seen you at lots of events and know that you're really involved in the community, and we really appreciate that. So I know that you're a real involved type kind of guy, so that's really neat.
I love people, and I'll be going to a grade school later next week to speak to a bunch of second and third graders. I've been to senior centers and talked to older people, and I really love to talk to people. I like to hear what they have to say and what they want from us and what we can do for them, and so I really enjoy that. I'm a people person. So.
That's good. So what do you know about the future plans of Marana? What's coming?
We are really starting to grow quickly again. Marana is building more housing than Tucson, Oro Valley, and Sarita combined in Pima County.
That's great.
By far. And people are coming here for a reason. They're coming because we have excellent public schools.
Yes.
We have beautiful parks. We have good streets and roads, and we spend a lot of money maintaining our streets and roads, which is not necessarily the case in the rest of the areas around us.
That's true.
And so I think it's just a comfortable place for people to live. A lot of people will work in the urban Tucson area, or even in Casa Grande or Phoenix, but they live here. And they just feel comfortable here. We have churches and synagogues on every corner, and it has that small town feel. And we have 11 parks in the town of Marana, so we love having ideas and places for people to go. Our swimming pool is free. Our splash pad at Gladden Farms is free. And we do things because we know young families a lot of times don't have a lot of money
Right.
after making a car payment and house payment and everything else.
Right.
That we want them to have places to take their children without an extreme cost.
That's great. It's wonderful. Well, so as you're thinking about your work here, are you going to continue being mayor for a while longer?
I probably will. I just got reelected. I've got about 3 years left on this term. And I really like what I'm doing. I'm retired from a good paying job, so I have to do something a little bit. But I love people. I love this community. I grew up here. My dad came here as a small boy. My children grew up here. And we have a generation after them that is growing up here as well. And I would like to be involved as long as my health is good and I feel that I'm making a contribution to the community.
That's great. We appreciate that contribution too. So we can look around and see how fast Moran's growing, and I'm sure it's because of your good efforts, and that's really wonderful. And the council members too.
We have an excellent council. We have really good people.
So what's one of your most memorable things that has happened since you've been mayor that you think of, either with some people that you know or just an experience that you've had as mayor?
Some of the things that we've done just as a municipality, when I was mayor the first time around in 1994 and 95, or 95 and 96, we didn't have a monetary financial base here. It was mainly farms and ranching and mining, and we needed a retail commercial sales tax base. And the area at Ina, Orange Grove, and Thornydale was unincorporated county. So we filed a blank petition and annexed that property, and then we had to go in and meet two criteria: 50% of the ownership and 50% of the value of the property, and get signatures, which we did. The city of Tucson sued us because they kind of were asleep at the wheel and didn't do that. To make a long story short, we won that suit. Well, we went from a community that had $100,000 or $200,000 budget to $2 million at the time.
Wow.
Our budget this year is $200 million.
That's a lot of
This
money.
community is really growing.
Yes.
Now, that's not all money we're spending. That's
Sure.
capital expenditures for Ina Road, Tangerine Road, building a new wastewater plant, building a new police station that we're building here. So a lot of that's capital projects, but we've grown up.
Well, the facilities here are certainly so very nice. They're wonderful. So I know there'll be lots of other cities that are very envious of the nice facilities that you have here in Marana. Well, that's great. So tell me, who would be some of your heroes, people that you really look up to?
Different people in the town, basically, is
Or just
what
whoever is in your past that you've thought, were maybe a mentor to you, or someone that you just think
there were a
is
lot
really
of people. Ora Harn, who was the former mayor. In fact, that's a picture of her right there. She's the shorter lady. She's deceased now. A really hard-working woman. She ran the food bank. She ran the health center. And she also volunteered and served the town. And she did really great things in this community. Other people in the community, a gentleman named Brad Despain, who actually was my ag teacher in high school. Yeah. And Brad, years later, became the utility director here at the town. But, a person of very high values and high moral standards, and that's the kind of people that I look at. It's not so much how much money you make or how big your house is, but what kind of an impact you make on the people around you in our community. And those are my heroes. And obviously my parents and different ones that set a good example for me. But my heroes don't have to be basketball stars or multimillionaires or anything else. They just need to be people of character.
Well, and you were one of my heroes because you were in the Navy and you served our country. So thank you so
I
much.
was in Vietnam in
68 and 69.
Thank you for your service. That's very commendable because that was a hard time in our history.
Yes, it was.
And so I really do appreciate your service. You know, lots of my friends were fought in Vietnam too. So, let me see. Is there anything else, or is there anything that surprised you about this position that you're in? Something that you didn't expect to happen?
You know, I didn't expect the town to grow as quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we always had a pretty good value system, and we treated everyone. And we didn't care who you were. You could live in the poorest neighborhood, or you could be the wealthiest developer.